Well, hello again, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining me and welcome back. I found myself in a little spot that I didn't even know I could get to. I knew it existed and I've looked a few times to see if there was a way that I could get here, but I've managed to find it now. One of the reasons that I've not noticed this spot before now is because during the summer and in the spring and even into early autumn, what you tend to find is the tree canopy covers this path and covers the sides of this path, which means that I don't really look for it, to be honest, and I think just on the off chance today I've managed to find it, and I think that's because as all the leaves have fallen off the trees, it's opened up this space a little bit more. I've found a little spot at the edge of the pond, and I think on the opposite side of the pond there's a couple of interesting compositions there. Looking at the colours of those trees, the leaves on the trees, there's a couple of interesting scenes there, and I think there's an interesting scene just over here where there are a group of taller pine trees with very green foliage still on them, and they look quite interesting as well. There might be a possibility of a panorama just here, but also a shot of these pines and then a little further along a shot just here as well. So I'm going to get the 70 to 300mm lens out and try and have a play around with this shot, see if I can capture a couple of shots here, and then we'll move on and see what else we can capture. That's 3 shots just here now then. I've just shot an image at 141mm, which was an image of some trees on the opposite side of the pond, and then I've moved over a little bit and taken another shot at 109mm of some of those pine trees on the opposite side of the pond as well. And as well as that, I've also decided to turn the camera into portrait mode and shoot a panorama at 300mm this time, so I've got it much closer, and it's just going to be kind of a letterbox style panorama that you often see. That's an interesting one, about 8 shots in all for that shot, so I'm going to have to wait and see how that one turns out, but the others look alright, and there's quite a nice bit of reflection on the pond as well from the colours of the trees at the opposite side of the pond. So I'm going to follow this path now and see where it leads, because I've got no idea where this is going to take me, and then I'll see if I can find another composition somewhere along here. So I've come to a point now where I don't really know which way to go. I've come along this path from behind where I am now, along here, and I've come to basically a crossroads, which means I could either go to my left here and up this path, and I don't know where that goes because I've never actually been this way before, or alternatively I could turn round even further and take the same path going off to the right, which then kind of curves round out the way, and obviously I've got no idea where that goes. Or alternatively, once again, I could just continue along the path in this direction here, and again I don't know where that will take me to, so I'm just kind of standing here trying to make a decision. But whilst I'm here, I've found quite an interesting composition right in front of me. There may even be 2 compositions here. I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to make them work, but I'm going to give something a try here, and I hope you like this or these images. So as you'll have seen by now, I managed to get 2 shots out of that little area I was standing in just there. I did have to crack open the 50mm lens to take those, which is quite interesting, because so far now I've been using the 70 to 300mm lens and the 50mm lens. Both of those were very, very cheap. Probably 2 of the cheapest lenses I've ever bought actually. So that could be a running theme of this vlog. Cheap lenses. Do you need to buy very expensive lenses to be able to make great photography? Probably not, I don't think. I think you can get away with using the cheaper versions of lenses. But whilst I was stood at that last spot, there's a railway line that runs through this park, and I realised that somehow I'd managed to get to the wrong side of the railway line, and I didn't know exactly where I was, so I've walked out and tried to follow the path in a direction that I thought was the right way to get back to the right side of the railway line, and I found myself in this spot once again. I've been here a few times, and now I do know exactly where I am, so I'm going to keep following this path, and I think there's possibly going to be maybe 1 or 2 more compositions on the way from here. I'm losing the light already, as you can probably tell, but I don't think there's been very much light all day anyway. There's a tree just here, just behind me. Don't know how well you can see that, which is all twisted and gnarly. I think that's going to look really, really good, but I want to try and get nice and close in with the 50mm lens once again. I like the background to it as well, the backdrop of the trees with the various different colours on the opposite side of the pond, and the pond itself in between. But I think this image here is going to be quite an interesting one. So I'm going to set up here and take a shot of this. I managed to get a decent portrait shot of that tree just behind me, this one here, and that looked quite nice as a portrait. I then tried to switch the camera to landscape orientation, and what I found was that in landscape orientation, this tree here almost was stood at the far right of the image, with this branch here almost looking out of the image itself. So I actually had to move my tripod a little way over in this direction, and instead I shot that tree from this sort of angle, and the tree was in the left hand side of the image, and then these branches here, these 2 big branches, seemed to be reaching into the image itself, which I thought was a much better composition in landscape orientation. So I've captured those 2 shots, and I think I'm going to make my way home now. If you've enjoyed watching this video, then please remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you again on another vlog very soon. Bye for now.